Hello, today I will read Exodus chapter 21. In chapter 20, we saw that God started to give Moses the laws, the Ten Commandments, and now it continues with more things. With the basic of the law of from which God gave it to Moses. It was those 10 commandments, and now let's continue. It will be detailed in lots of things. These are the laws you are to set before them. If you buy a Hebrew servant, he is to serve you for 6 years. But in the 7th year, he shall go free, without paying anything. If he comes alone, he is to go free alone. But if he has a wife when he comes, she is to go with him. If his master gives him a wife and she bears him sons or daughters, the woman and her children shall belong to her master, and only the man shall go free. Now we see, but God will make a difference if he's a Hebrew servant or not. If he's a Hebrew servant, you should, in the 7th year, he shall go free. But here we see, if his master gives him a wife and she bears him sons or daughters, the woman and her children shall belong to her master, and only the man shall go free. But if the servant declares, I love my master and my wife and children, and do not want to go free, then his master must take him before the judge. He shall take him to the door or the doorpost and pierce his ear with an awl. Then he will be his servant for life. So a symbol of being a slave is earrings. It's then wearing earring or something. Yeah, a hole on your ear lobe. I think in ear lobe. Or I don't know, but we Christian Pentecostal from Romania, I know maybe in other countries they use earrings, but we do not. Earrings, I mean to the girls, or to the boys, lots of, to the boys neither. Or tattoos, or those are symbols of degradation, or how can I say in English, of not okay. If you are a child of God, how can you make such things with your body? Then he will be his servant for life. If a man sells his daughter as a servant, she is not to go free as manservants do. If she does not please the master who has selected her for himself, he must let her be redeemed. He has no right to sell her to foreigners because he has broken faith with her. If he selects her for his son, he must grant her the right of a daughter. If he marries another woman, he must not deprive the first one of her food, clothing, and marital rights. If he does not provide her with these three things, she is to go free without any payment of money. Those are very weird situations about slavery and about marriage with more women. I mean, polygamy. Two things that are not okay. And I don't know why God is not put a stop from the first, like here. Maybe they want to learn the people what means to be a slave and what means to be a master, what means to be, if you are a slave, a servant to the God, you must obey him like a slave does with his master. Or I really don't know why God is not put a stop, even if he put the laws here. But there are some things that, some limit. Anyone who strikes a man and kills him shall surely be put to death. However, if he does not do it intentionally, but God lets it happen, he is to flee to a place I will designate. But if a man schemes and kills another man deliberately, take him away from my altar and put him to death. Anyone who attacks his father or his mother must be put to death. Anyone who kidnaps another and either sells him or still has him when he is caught must be put to death. Anyone who curses his father or mother must be put to death. If men quarrel and no one hits the other with a stone or with his fist, and he does not die, but is confined to bed, the one who struck the blow will not be held responsible if the other gets up and walks around outside with his stuff. However, he must pay the injured man for the loss of his time and see that he is completely healed. Those are laws like from lots of things. If a man beats his male or female slave with a rod and the slave dies as a direct result, he must be punished, but he is not to be punished if the slave gets up after a day or two, since the slave is his property. So, even if with the slavery, even if they were not Hebrews, those slaves, they could not do anything they wanted with them. They could not kill them and without being responsible for their death. They could not we will continue. There are more things. If men who are fighting hit a pregnant woman and she gives birth prematurely, but there is no serious injury, the offender must be fined whatever the woman's husband demands and the court allows. But if there is a serious injury, you are to take life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot, bird for bird, wound for wound, bruise for bruise. If a man hits a manservant or maidservant in the eye and destroys it, he must let the servant go free to compensate for the eye. And if he knocks out the tooth of a manservant, oh, even a tooth, or maidservant, he must let the servant go free to compensate for the tooth. So, even if they had slaves, they could not do anything they wanted with them. If a bull gores a man or a woman to death, the bull must be stoned to death, and its meat must not be eaten. But the owner... But why? It's very interesting. Canada... the emotion, the thing that that Baal was a criminal, and if you eat that meat, it will it affect you of wanting yourself to be a criminal too, or wanting you? I really don't know, but it's very interesting here. But the owner of the bull will not be held responsible. If, however, the bull has had the habit of goring, and the owner has been warned but has not kept it penned up, and it kills a man or woman, the Baal must be stoned, and the owner also must be put to death. Whoa. However, if payment is demanded of him, he may redeem his life by paying whatever is demanded. This law also applies if the bull gores a son or daughter. If the bull gores a male or female slave, the owner must pay 30 shekels of silver to the master of the slave, and the Baal must be stoned. Oh, so a slave is not that, is less important than a normal person, it seems. If a man uncovers a pit of digs, and fails to cover it, and an ox or a donkey falls into it, the owner of the pit must pay for the loss. He must pay for its owner, and the dead animal will be his. If a man's blow injures the bull of another, and it dies, they are to sell the live one and divide both, the money and the dead animal, equally. However, if it was known that the Baal had the habit of goring, yet the owner did not keep it penned up, the owner must pay animal for animal, and the dead animal will be his. Very interesting cases, and it will be more and more. From the Ten Commandments, it will be it's the base of all life, and now we see how the law works in those cases. Okay, it's about justice, but still God is not changing the time. The time matters. I mean, they had slaves. They were the polygamy was permitted. The slavery was permitted, and see what happened. Okay, that was the chapter. the God, and what we can learn is about justice and righteousness that we can learn from here. And yeah, but just at one level, I mean, they had slaves, and the polygamy was permitted. So it's not okay, but God, I don't know why he didn't attack those, or he didn't make it clear those matters. Okay, may the God bless me, protect me, and elect me in the next chapter too, and if he wants, you will see me there too. God bless you all, and goodbye.